Evening, everyone. Just a little update on my progress and some finds I had today at the Walmart locally, and pretty unusual since I seldom, if ever, find anything decent. Um, I found a couple of nice cars, but first I'm going to talk about the M1 Mercedes-Benz Pro car that just got in the mail from eBay buy. This is the car that I'm trying to emulate more or less with my current build, and I just like the paint scheme. It's quite unusual, and I think maybe my next car might look a little bit more like it. But this took quite a while to get here, and while I was waiting for this car to show up, these two actual 82 versions, 1982 versions came, and I've been working on it. If you recognize this from the last video, I actually got the wheels on today, and I'll talk about that a little bit. I had a lot of concern about the width of the wheels not lining up in the chassis, and rubbing like crazy. But I was able to do some creative grinding work and grind down the nubs on the side of the chassis, and that gave the wheels enough clearance. So now it's got a nice new set of Hot Wheels current version wheels and axles. So I used, as I normally do, my E6000. This case it's clear E6000 to secure the axles onto my chassis. The E6000 that I have is this particular version. As you can see, it's almost gone, and I'm going to need to get a new one. But I'm a fan of it. You have to be really careful when you use it, when you're applying it, especially to the axles, because it can string, and the strings are like mini rubber bands, and they can impede your tire from your wheel from rolling if you were to pull it, string across it. So my application method is to put my I have 3D printed these. I use these as my secure method, and I use a rubber band to hold the wheel in place, and then once I get the wheel in place, then I put the E6000 on the axle, and the appropriate method that I've found is that if you put your dollop of E6000 there, you pull it back directly across, or pull it out, so that any string is in away from the wheels. So in this case, on this side, I'll put the dollop there, and I'll pull it out here, and if there's a string, I'll wipe it away to make sure it doesn't get to there. And then I'll go to this side, I'll put the dollop in there, and then I'll pull it out this way to clear any strings off, and then let it cure in an upright position. As it says, flexible and self-leveling, so it will level down. So you only need a little dollop at the center of the axle, and you will get coverage all the way out to left and right. The nice part about it is it's removable and it stays flexible, so you do actually get a little bit of flex in the axle, which is nice. It gives it a little bit better shock ability going around corners and such. I believe. I don't know what others believe, but I believe that it's beneficial. So anyways, these are about ready to go. I just need to sand the wheels a little bit to make sure there's no lumps and stuff on them. And then this chassis in this configuration with the wheels and the spoiler and the louvers is pretty much dead on 50 grams for the car. So that's a nice weight for the vehicle. A lot of the weight is very low, as you can see, and this weight in the back gives it about a 20 something, uh, low 20s here, high 20s there. So it's a little heavier in the back, as you would assume. But I also got recently some tungsten block, and this one tungsten block, I think it's a quarter by a quarter by a quarter, is 5 grams. So that placed in the vehicle there will give me my 55 gram weight limit, and off we go. So that's kind of nice. I've never used tungsten before. I kind of think that maybe I could see people's desire to use it, since it's pretty straightforward. Otherwise, I'd need a bunch of lead weights stacked in there. This is a single weight, and I can put it kind of where I want to, as long as there's clearance inside the body for it to sit, and then go with it there. So I think that'll be pretty nice. I'll go ahead and attach that up when I'm ready, and this car will be ready to send off to the what's it called? It's called the Group B Rally tournament. So it's going to be at a series of tracks. I'm hoping to be competitive. Would be nice to have my car be competitive instead of getting run down on the first at the first track and not being able to compete. So I have this second one, and I think I showed you this on the last video. On this one, as you can see, I've already ground flat the spots where the tire had the problem, and now I have plenty of clearance, and these have been polished. You can see they're pretty shiny. These have been polished. Still get some graphite on there to keep the wheel from binding or anything. Have a little extra lube there, but the car itself, with the wheels and the glass and the full interior and louvers on this one, weighed in about 48 without the paint. And I also on this car, because this one's going off to Gravity Falls Modified Mayhem. Yeah, Gravity Falls track. Boy, that's a rough track for me. I have sent a couple of cars there, and man, they have just not done a thing. So I'm taking little greater efforts to make this car more compatible with what I think is compatible with that track, because it's a crazy track. It's got a lot of interesting curves, and yeah, it's a rough one. You see a lot of cars just doing rollovers and stuff. So anyways, I spent a lot of time on this. The reason why it's a little lighter at about 48 grams is I took off the wheel extensions, the wheel housings extensions, and that doesn't have the spoiler on the back. But right now it's weighing in about 48. So this car, as I said, this is the Hot Wheels 1982 version, Mattel Inc. China. So this one's made in China, and I haven't found a lot online about them. 1982 Mattel China Hot Wheels. I ground off the stubs there and smooth the chassis on the bottom to give it the most amount of clearance and still try to keep it as low as possible. But if you notice, I'm glad I got these, because this guy, this Pro car, he's actually a little smaller, and the wheels, while it's really a cool look, the fat wide body, I think these things, the way these extend out here, are problematic on almost all the tracks, as they want to rub the sidewalls and things. Plus, it's got real riders, so I knew I would have to deal with that. And it's super low to the ground, and I knew I would have to deal with that. So rather than taking this really nice car and having to really just mess with it, I'm glad I found these. You know, this is a $7 Pro car, And actually, today at Walmart, I found 3 or 4 of them on the pegs. I was stunned because we have hardly ever have anything cool. I didn't take them because I don't need them. Uh, I because I have one. So this one, like I said, this one just showed up. So I'm glad I saw it today. This one came in the mail before I went to Walmart. So I'm glad I got it today because otherwise I would have bought some of those and I would be mad because now I got too many. Anyway, so, since I don't really collect, I just modify for racing. So I try not to collect a bunch of crazy ones. But this one, I'm going to keep this one as a display piece because I like the way it looks. I enjoy the graphics. They've done a nice job. So I'm going to try to emulate a little bit better this radial design on this car, on this fella here, and see if I can do a little better job making it look a little bit more like that. If I don't, then it's okay. It's just an emulation. It's not a scale model of any sort. So it's all good there. And again, this one um, just needs a little wire brushing, and then it'll be ready for painting and assembly. Okay, so there's that. I talked about the E6000, how we apply it. This one is different than this one is. This one is medium viscosity and it's self-leveling. This one is clear. This one is black. So I used to get the black all the time and I could never find it. So I finally ordered one. I think it was on Amazon. I found one because I still have some more clear and I like the clear. But I like the black on the bottom on the chassis. If the chassis is black, I like the way that blends in without having to mess with it. It just disappears. Because I don't use screws on any of my builds anymore. I started off doing that, and I just got to the point where I just don't understand why. I can just put some E6000 on the chassis itself. I usually put it in the hole where the peg runs through, or I might put a little in the join if it's clear, and in the back at the join, and just push it together, and you'll never have any issues. So rather than wasting the time drilling out the peg, hoping that it doesn't split on you, screwing a screw in there, hoping that doesn't split out on you, I just go ahead and glue it together, and then I can always take it apart when I get them back because the E6000, while it is super grippy and very nice, it is removable. So there you go. Okay, ready. This one will be ready to go to the race here shortly. So that's all I got for today. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't talk about these guys. So I was at the Walmart. I saw a bunch of these, but I also saw some off-roaders with the black knobby style tires. I seldom see any of those. There was this, let's see, what's this one? This is a Land Cruiser. It's a nice looking buggy. This is a Volvo XC40 with the large tires. And this is a Matchbox. I want to say it's a Jeep Scout. And it's a nice little setup. So instead, they had a 5-pack of mud studs. So instead of buying the 5-pack of mud studs, these are some really nice wheels, and they got some serious spin to them. I'm definitely going to be using them. I don't know if I'm going to use this, but I'll be using them. So instead of buying the 5-pack, I just bought these 3 and kept my budget intact. Anyways, thanks for staring in, and hope to catch you on the next one. Thanks.